Well, the last few days, MLB gave us pure chaos. Jorge Soler stormed the mound. Reynaldo Lopez fired back with ball in hand. And now two contenders are paying the price. MLB chaos tempers and franchise money on this. Back to the bullpen.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, and I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat a low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you wanna start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walk it back, looking like we ain't cool then. The game's over, might as well put them back to the bullpen, oh yeah.
That's right, and we are bringing it back to the bullpen, whether it's chaos, whether it's UFC in MLB, or whether it's Connor Griffin getting paid. Look, I'm Brett Chansey. He's Mike Stanton, 19-year Major League veteran. I've been on the mic about 10 years. Mike, you've been around for a couple decades on the mic, on the big screen. Be nice,
because you know I'll get you back.
That's right, I know. Look, Mike... I love our conversations always because you get to talk about this from the player's perspective. I get to come back with that fan angle and that ranting, just fanatic flair. And you always seem to bring me down to a more level-headed
There's
approach.
Not very many times in my life that I would be considered the logical one, but in this relationship between you and me, I am definitely the more level-headed, maybe.
Yeah, I would
That's
say you're
scary to tell the truth.
Right. I'm more the Wilson Contreras in this picture, but tonight we're gonna talk about Connor Griffin's contract, and the reason why we're gonna talk about it is because of how he's being paid, the structure of it, why it's really smart for the Pirates. We're gonna hit on the Jorge Soler, Reynaldo Lopez. We do know the details that have come out, who's been suspended for what, and probably what the root cause of that is. And we lead off, Mike, with a hitter in Wilson Contreras, who's been, and I'm going to say it, targeted 24 times.
Wow.
24 times. Not by the league, Mike.
Right.
By one team, the Brewers.
It's absolutely remarkable. And I'm kind of surprised that the league hasn't actually... at least, and we don't know what's happening behind closed doors,
right,
but that seems like an awfully big number for one dude to be hit by one organization 24 times. Now, I've seen there was a clip on X that that showed kind of all 24 of them, or actually 23 of the 24. There's one that they couldn't find, but you know, some of them are breaking balls. Some of them are, you know, some of them you can see a right-hander, the breaking ball pops out, hits him, no big deal. But 24 times is a huge number. I mean, there's guys that that played, you know, 10 or 12 or 15 years in the big leagues that don't get hit that many times in their whole career, much less by one opponent. So, the reason this is a story is because Wilson has actually said, and this is where a lot of people have the problem. He goes public with this, and it's just bad optics for Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball does not like this type of stuff. That Wilson has actually said, I'm not just going to take it anymore. You know, there's going to be some kind of repercussions, and what does that mean? I don't really know, but it's just bad optics. But I understand the frustration. I mean, my gosh. Did he change his number and just put a bullseye on his back?
Yeah, I mean, look, Brandon Woodruff actually hit him 6 of those 24 times. And you know, usually when we go old school, okay, I go back to the story that Terry Poole told me, and I'll give you a shortened version of it. Lenny Dykstra basically pimped a home run that he had hit. And Nolan Ryan said that SHIT stops tomorrow because I'm on the mound. The next game, Nolan Ryan puts a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in his rib cage. They said Lenny Dykstra, from that point on, every time he hit a home run, when he did against the Astros, he ran faster than anybody trying to leg out a triple because he was not going to put up with that.
Yeah.
And you pitched and played in the time where, look, you hit our guy, we hit your guy, or you throw up and in on our guy, we're going to throw it up and in on your guy. And look, I can understand Contreras. Now, some people are saying this is his classic, like, emotional spill out, like
kind of overreaction.
Yeah, overreacting. But 24 hit by pitches by one team, I think he's got a right to be a little upset. And mind you, this isn't the Yankees versus the Red Sox. This isn't even the Red Sox versus this is the Brewers in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like, are you aware of something I'm not aware of in some Brewers Red Sox mystical rivalry going on?
Not that I really know of. I mean, especially since the Brewers now are in, the National League.
Yeah,
it's one of those crazy situations, and listen, there's scouting reports. There's an art to pitching inside, and these guys nowadays, even in my generation, it wasn't it wasn't done correctly. Major League Baseball, and we're going to talk in a little while about the first brawl we've seen this season, first brawl we've seen in quite a while, actually. And Major League Baseball does not want this kind of stuff happening on their fields. And so what they've done is, even in my generation, when you threw up and in, the hitters always took like serious offense to it, not necessarily charge the mound, but they're always bowing their chest. And really what they're trying to do is intimidate the pitchers. But Wilson doesn't do that. Wilson kind of just takes his beating and goes to first base. And that's why I can't call this an overreaction just simply because 24 times, that is a massive, massive number. And again, I understand the scouting report. The scouting report probably is you got to pitch him inside, but there's one thing pitching him inside, and there's another thing hitting somebody. And, you told the story about Nolan and Lenny Dykstra. That was a different generation. That's not even my generation. That went back to the 80s.
Right.
Yeah. And that was part of the game, and it was policed by the players. Well, it's not policed by the players anymore. It's policed by the league. And that's why we don't see it very often, just simply because it's going to cost you not just 3 or 4 days. It may cost you a week. It's going to cost you a bunch of money too.
So with Wilson Contreras saying that, despite the league seeing these 24 hit by pitches from one team and one player, is now the league taking notes and on notice and already building a case for a possible suspension if Wilson Contreras reacts in a way that creates a fight or a brawl? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's they're not going to forget about it. I mean, it'll go in the envelope, the notes. It'll definitely happen. So, but again, I mean, if he does, what does he do? I guess that's the biggest question. Is it something that he said? This is something he said just out of the heat of the moment, out of frustration, possibly.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just fascinating that I just still can't believe that he's been hit 24 times by one team. I mean, it's really remarkable. And I'd be pissed too.
No, I think it's just absolutely insane. And
well, here's the question.
Yes.
If you're on the Brewers pitching staff, do you all of a sudden try and not go inside? I don't think so. I think you still do what you've been doing. And if you lose it, or if you're a right-handed hitter and you lose it arm side and you hit him, well, so be it. If he comes out, well, then we'll dance.
You go to somewhere like Driveline Sports and try to find one of those super sweepers they're going to give you. So it looks like the ball's coming at you and you buckle your legs and the ball actually ends in the zone. I mean, mind games with them. And, another thing, I remember Nolan Ryan asked Satchel Paige what his favorite pitch was when he was young. And Satchel Paige said the bow tie. Nolan Ryan's like, what's the bow tie? He's like, you throw it high and inside to make it feel like they're wearing a bow tie.
That's right.
He goes, get them off that plate. That plate is mine, damn it. And
if you notice, he said high and inside, and that's where you really get kind of iffy that, it's one thing you're going to hit somebody in the ribs. Okay. Yeah, can you break ribs? Yeah, but you're not going to long-term hurt somebody.
Right.
But when you go up and in, that's a little different story, because now we're talking about, real danger, real life-threatening issues.
Because you go back to, when you think of high and inside, I think of Piazza and Clemens, and I think of stuff like that. So you know what? In our next segment, we're gonna continue this UFC theme for tonight. Not brought to you by UFC, but we're gonna talk about Jorge Soler and Reynaldo Lopez and how friendly they are with each other.
Maybe we need to call Dana, see if Dana can sponsor us.
Let's do it. Let's catch that next. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Back to the Bullpen. And I want to tell you about TurboTax. And you need to listen to this, because what I have for you is a game changer. You've tried to book appointments with a tax person and they haven't given you convenient times, or you try the online thing, or sitting in waiting rooms, emailing back and forth, wondering if you're really going to get your situation taken care of. Well, doing taxes the old way, that's out the window. You are getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide, and you can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve, while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's a relief knowing that you can walk in, meet an expert, a real person, and walk out knowing that your taxes are being handled right. So head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment today. And make sure you check out the Everydayer Club. Why? Because I've got a special gift for you. Baseball is back. Whether they're balling or they're brawling, it doesn't matter, because I am giving you a full month of the Everydayer Club for free. So go to lockedonsports.com/everydayer. Use the code FINALLY. You unlock every episode ad-free and get access to our private listener group chat. Tap the link in the show notes and use the code FINALLY to claim your free month. So, Mike, let's get into it. This is a high-powered edition of Back to the Bullpen. Jorge Soler, Reynaldo Lopez, fight night in Anaheim. And like you said, Dana Brown, not Dana Brown, maybe Dana White wants to sponsor the show. Yeah. Not Dana Brown. Dana Brown does not want to sponsor a show of fight night, because I don't think any GM in the major leagues. Yeah. But so there's a little bit of a history here. It's not necessarily a fighting history,
right?
But egos, Mike, are involved.
Well, what it really is there's ownership here, and
exactly.
Jorge Soler has completely owned Reynaldo Lopez. And what I mean by that is just hitting. He is 14 for 23 with 5 home runs. And in the first inning, now listen, the question I had when I heard this and I saw the brawl, is I wanted to go back and look at the video and see if he pimped the home run, because he hit a home run off of him in the first inning. And he did not. It was a low line drive on a hanging slider. I don't know why Lopez could get upset. Hanging sliders go a long ways. Yeah. He hit it off the end of the bat just a little bit, hit it right down the left field line. And it was, it was clearly a home run. And Soler ran because he wasn't sure it was going out of the ballpark. The next at bat in the third inning. Now that was a 2-run home run. Trout had gotten on, so they take a 2-0 lead. Then in the third inning, Reynaldo Lopez hits him right in his left shoulder. Now this is right-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter, hits him in his left shoulder. That's his front shoulder. And Soler just wears it and he goes to first base. In the 5th inning, the next at bat for Jorge Soler, he doesn't get hit, but the ball does go up and in. Now, it's not crazy close to him. It wasn't like, tracking in his ear hole, but it was kind of a upshoot fastball that was chasing him. And the crazy thing is the ball goes to the backstop. The catcher gets the ball. There was a runner on first base, tries to throw the guy out at second, and there's nothing really going on. And then in the replay, they actually show that Soler was basically just standing there staring at Lopez.
Yes.
And Lopez was the one that kind of instigated it, kind of walked to the front of the plate, front of the mound, and kind of looks at him and goes, what are you going to do? Well, then it's on. And it was interesting because there was real emotion in this. A lot of times bench clearings are, they go out and hug a little bit. No, these dudes were letting it fly. And the funny thing was, Reynaldo Lopez actually still had the ball in his hand, and he was swinging. And I think he kind of hit Soler maybe in the helmet a little bit with the ball in his hand. But these guys were there were some haymakers going on.
Okay, so Lopez had the ball in his hand. Now, this may be like splitting hairs, but Soler got 7 games.
Yeah.
Lopez's was reduced from 7 to 5 games. I don't know. I would just think that holding the ball in your hand would almost be seen like you're trying to weaponize the baseball.
He didn't throw it. At least he didn't throw it.
He didn't throw it. But, I mean, I was just
different.
thinking
I've never actually, tell the truth, I've never seen that before.
Well,
because
I never
if
have
you're holding a baseball,
right?
You're holding a baseball, and you go and hit the helmet. If you get a finger in there, you can break. You could break a finger. You could,
But what I'm wondering is, because he held the baseball and hit him with it, I would almost think, why would they reduce? Did they reduce it because he was acting out of defense? I mean, of course, like I said,
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, neither one of them is actually is suspended right now. They both appealed it, and so you continue to play. And the crazy thing is, the first at bat for Jorge Soler, the next day he goes deep again. So he hits a home run. He's
on one right now.
Yeah,
he's on a heater.
And listen, that is a big, strong dude, and when he hits the ball, that ball stays hit.
I wouldn't want to get in a fight with him now.
Well, listen, Reynaldo Lopez is not a little dude either. I mean, these were both pretty large human beings.
These are giants in the land.
I don't know. But Major League Baseball gets a lot of things right, but there's a few things that they kind of miss the boat. And I listen, this was complete. I understand Soler charged the mound, but he was being enticed by Lopez. And you look at what's happened in the game. He hits a home run. There's no pimpage. There's nothing going on. He sprints.
Right.
He thinks it's a double, so he basically almost sprinted to second base. He gets hit, and then the next at bat, he gets the tower buzzed. And I mean, I understand he charged the mound, but I expected both of them to get 7 games.
Right.
Because that's kind of the going standard now. It used to be 3 games. Now, Major League Baseball, they don't play. And both fines are undisclosed. No one knows how much. I can tell you, it's not $1,500.
Oh, no, it is. It's definitely not cheap. So here's a couple interesting things about this. Number one, they're former teammates. So that may be another layer. But number 2, did you see Walt Weiss? 62-year-old Walt Weiss tackled Soler.
Yeah,
it was a wild visual. It was wild to see.
Walt used to be shredded, and Walt is someone that you do not want to get on the ground with. This is a black belt in Taekwondo, and he is heavy. I don't know how heavy he is into it now. He used to be very heavy into it.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I know
used to train all the time.
Look, he was part of. I love those Oakland A's teams when it was Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, Walt Weiss. They all 3 won. It was back-to-back rookies of the year. I will never forget that. Walter William Weiss. We used to love to say his whole name. But, the Braves did lose someone out of their rotation. So, he misses that. He may miss.
Well, not yet. He's still under.
Well, he's appealing. So he's
appealing. So you still get to play while
you get to play until the suspension happens. But when it comes through, he's more than likely going to miss a spot in the rotation.
And here's another issue I have with this situation. He gets 5 games. Okay, that just means he goes on a 5-day on a 6-day rotation.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really even miss a start. Whereas Jorge Soler, he gets 7 games. He's a starting position player. That's 7 games.
Okay, so and I'm going to ask this, and this may sound very naive of me, but when you're paid by the game, you are paid regardless of whether you play 1 game or 5 games, right? I mean,
correct.
your salary split up like maybe
salary. It's
Okay.
every 2 weeks.
every
It's
2 weeks
100
you get paid.
Yes,
Okay.
and they just take whatever the thing is, whatever the amount is, and divide it by 24.
Okay.
24,
Okay.
12. I'm sorry, 12. Divide it by 12. You get
Okay.
paid every 2 weeks.
Okay. So when they get suspended, do they lose the pay for every game they're suspended? They just lose it?
It is supposed to be an unpaid suspension. Yes. Now, is it? I don't know. But yeah, it's supposed to be an unpaid suspension, and then there's fines on top of that.
Okay.
But I got suspended one time. I could tell the story. It would take too long. We could do it another day. I got suspended for 5 days, and it was supposed to be unpaid, but the Yankees did. They paid it. They paid.
Good job, Yankees. Good job. Thank you, Mr. Steinbrenner.
Yeah, I hit Eric Davis right in between the shoulder blades, and I thought I killed him. I thought I really hurt him.
Oh, you know what? You and I have talked about this, but yes, we will definitely have to revisit that. So what we're going to do next segment, we're going to go from brawling to balling and talk about this really, I guess, pretty good contract for the Pirates and also for a young phenom in Pittsburgh. All right, I want to talk to y'all about our friends at Indeed. Look, we know that you have an inbox that is full. You have that email, just things that are deadline stacking up, workplace chaos, whatever it is you need. It's probably someone who needs to fill a spot in your company that you've got to get someone hired. And you are tired of randos taking these resumes and sending them to you. You don't know who they are. You don't know even if they qualify for the job and for the type of person you're looking for. With Indeed sponsored jobs, you can find the right person with skills, with experience, with location, and you're not just hoping the right candidate comes across your post. The right person does come across your post. And this stat right here says it all. In the minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all the boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. And not only that, listeners and viewers of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. So indeed, we do need to talk about Connor Griffin, Mike, who gets his bag. And let me tell you, this kid, we talked about his first game. We talked about his introduction to Major League Baseball. We also know what kind of talent he is. He's not just a really good player. His floor is high. His expectations are through the roof. And the Pirates felt like it was time to go ahead and pay him. And you know what? Paul Skeens endorsed it. And he said, this kid is getting what he deserves.
Listen, you don't become the number one prospect in all of baseball because by a fluke. This isn't a situation that, you said it, there's a high floor, which means this guy is going to be at worst a good Major League Baseball player, probably an all-star. But they're predicting, we're talking about this guy being potentially an MVP, maybe multiple MVPs. That's the talent level that Connor has, and that's why you sign him to a contract like this. It's 9 years, $140 million. Now, you don't just divide it by 9. That's not how it works. They manipulate it a little bit to help with the AAV, with the actual dollars that are going out, the checks that are being written. So first, there's going to be a $12 million signing bonus. He's going to get $5 million up front and then $3.5 million in both 2027 and 2028.
Okay.
And then it's a little complicated. Then his 3 arbitration years, there's the combined number that he will make is just shy of $40 million at $39.9 million. Okay.
Wow.
And here's the big one for his 3 free agent years. So what the rules state is the organization has the rights to a major league player for the first 6 years of their career. You have 3 years of arbitration. You have 3 years of just being paid whatever the team wants to pay you. You have 3 years of arbitration. And then they also got 3 years of free agency. And the 3 years of free agency, the rest of the contract, which is $81.5 million, that's where you get to the 140. Okay. And then there's actually some escalators that can add another $10 million.
Wow.
This is a negotiation that's been going on for quite a while. It's actually been going on for like 6 months. The Pirates wanted a couple team option years, and Excel, who is the agency that represents Griffin, actually said, no, that's a non-starter. We're not even going to talk about that. So that went by the wayside. Griffin and Excel wanted 8 years, so they split the difference at 9 years. There's no team options. It's not flat rate because there are escalators, but it's a very lucrative contract. It's hard to say at 19 years old, is he leaving money on the table? Possibly. But the reason you do this as a young player is you start off with, it's $140 million. Okay. And it gives you that security for life that every player is always looking for. And then, by the way, he becomes a free agent at 28, 29 years old. So
I'm going to show you an image that is going to make you laugh, because this is astounding. This is baseball history at its best. Okay. Look at this. Connor signed through 2034. Bobby Bonilla signed through 2035.
Yeah. Actually, there's a celebration. I don't remember what day it is. There's a celebration every single year in Major League Baseball. It's called Bobby Bonilla Day. That Bobby Bonilla gets paid $1 million from the New York Mets.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a genius. Good for him, man. Good for him getting paid. And I've got to ask you about that, because back then, was that something that other players talked about when that happened? Or, we talk a lot about contracts.
I can tell you the Players Association doesn't want it. They want all the money up front because that's the highest value of the contract. So as you have those deferrals, then that reduces the current dollar value. You look at Shohei's $700 million. That $700 million is over 20 years, and it's all backloaded for the last 10 of those years. He's going to make $68 million a year for 10 years. The first 10, he's only making $2 million a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's 20. Now, what the current dollar value, and it varies from day to day, but the numbers I heard was somewhere between like $430 and $460 million. Now, still stupid monopoly type money. Okay.
Yes.
But
crazy.
460, I think it's $465 million is far short than $700 million. Now, you look at Juan Soto's contract, that's different. I think it's $765 million, something like that, for 13 years.
Now,
there was no deferrals in that one.
Now, I think this is how small market clubs survive, okay? You can lock down a cornerstone player early. But this doesn't mean the Pirates fans can get super excited and think they're going to do the same thing with Paul Skeens. Because
they can't afford Paul Skeens.
So whether they sign Connor Griffin or not, you think Paul Skeens is probably not going to be a Pirate just because of the salary.
You're not comparing apples to apples. I mean, you're talking about
Fair
Connor
enough.
Griffin. Yes, tremendous talent, but has days in the big leagues. That's it. You're talking about Paul Skeens, who
third year.
Rookie of the Year, second year wins a National League Cy Young, arguably the top two or three pitchers in all of baseball. He's only 23 years old. If they were going to sign him, they would have had to do it. What they tried to do with Connor Griffin was do it before he becomes a big leaguer. I mean, there's some other stipulations there, but do it right away. But and the other side of it is being a pitcher. It's also a lot more riskier than actually signing a position player.
Now, is the XL Sports Management Group who represents him? Mm-hmm. Is that the old Drew Rosenhaus? Is that his? Okay,
I don't know
because I remember
it's one of the bigger agencies. That's for
because
sure.
I remember Drew. I think I think that's connected with him because he was the Boris before Scott Boris was Scott Boris.
Mm-hmm.
And that's. If you remember,
my agent for 20 plus years was Aces Incorporated, who's another very, very good, been in the industry forever. And I was actually like their second or third player ever. I mean, I was with them, and I was with them my whole career.
They tried to sign me when I won my dodgeball title, but
is that right?
I had to go with
he was looking for a multi-year contract for tens and tens of dollars.
That's right. Dodge. I went with Dodge Duck Dive Incorporated. So that
the 5 Ds. You went with the 5 Ds of dodgeball.
That's right. Oh man, those are the good old days. Hey man, we play with the 4 square ball. We didn't play with these pansy dodgeballs they have now. They're terrible. Like literally, people are throwing out their arms. Like kids are getting Tommy John because of the dodgeballs that they throw these days. So anyways, I digress. The baseball world lost a really good former player, had a really good 16-year career. Davey Lopes, tell us a little bit about Davey
we
Lopes.
Lost a legend. Davey Lopes has been around baseball for decades and decades and decades, was a great player, won multiple World Series, won multiple World Series, one with the Dodgers as a player, and then with the Phillies as a coach, was a prolific stolen base guy. And then he also had the ability to instill that knowledge on current base stealers. And so, never heard anything bad. He was a manager. He coached for many organizations, was just a great baseball lifer, and he will definitely be missed. He's a Dodger legend, but he's also a baseball legend. So, rest in peace, Davey, and thoughts and prayers out to your family and friends.
Yeah, definitely. It's all and he was on that. He has a Houston connection. He was on the 86. He was on the 86 team. I mean, that 86 team was very, very close to going to that World Series. We've got a really cool opportunity for our fans to come see us live at Biggio's restaurant. April 25th, we're going to be at Biggio's. We're going to be live. It's going to be us. We're going to go first. Then Locked on Astros will be on the docket. Eric and I will be there, but we've got 4 to 4:30 back to the bullpen, 4:30 to 5, and it's at 1777 Walker Street. If you know where the Marquee Marriott is downtown, if you know where Dyken Park is, we're going to be right there in Biggio's restaurant live. Come by. You'll get to meet us. Mike will be signing some autographs, and we'll be doing some pretty cool stuff, really cool pregame, and then I know Eric and I are going to walk over and go watch the Astros, hopefully, win that one. Yeah. Yankees versus Astros. So in Houston. So, hey, you know what? It's been a good show. It's been fun balling and brawling. We covered it all in a little bit of dodgeballing. So for myself, from Mike and everybody here at Back to the Bullpen, I want to thank you all for making us your first listen. Make sure you make Locked on MLB and even Locked on Astros your second listen. So y'all have a good one. Go have fun this weekend. Go to a ball game with the family and play ball.
Adios.